If you've got a long list of candidates and a long list of work locations, and they're all scattered across a geographical territory, and you're trying to figure out the fastest way to match your candidates to the appropriate job location, you might be able to do it using Google My Maps. Let me show you how.
To start with, you'll need two spreadsheets, one with your candidate data and one with your location data. This is the one for my location data. So I have a column with a location name. Here, I've just labeled them as A all the way through X. I've put the city, the state, and the zip code, but you can certainly list out the entire street address for more accurate plotting on your map. Similarly, on the spreadsheet for my candidate data, I have candidate number. I didn't put names here just for sake of confidentiality. I also didn't list out the entire address, I just put the zip code and the state. That's going to work just fine for our purposes today. Next, I head over to Google My Maps. There's the address, google.com/maps. Here, I'm going to create a new map, and I'm going to title it as Draft Map 2. You can add a description if you like. Here, we're going to import our spreadsheets. So first, I'm going to grab my locations. The first thing it asks me is to choose the columns to position my place marks. This is where I'd want to select the most accurate location. If you have a full street address listed out, select that. For my purposes, I'm just going to use the zip code. Then it asks me to choose a column to title the markers. You might have a store number or the name of a specific site, but I just label them as A through X, so I'm going to go with that, and that's what's going to get plotted on my map. So now that that spreadsheet is imported, you can see how it's plotted them all out on the map. I'm going to do the exact same thing as a second layer using my other spreadsheet. Here again, it's asked me to choose the columns to position the place marks. Again, I'm going to go with zip code because that's the most accurate piece of data that I have. And again, if you have the full street address, you probably want to use that. And once again, it asks me to choose the column to title the markers. In this case, I'm going to go with candidate number. In your case, you might go with candidate name. You'll notice that all the markers look exactly the same. So we're going to need to change the way they look so that our candidates are visibly different from our locations. You do that over here, go over to where it says uniform style. If you want all the markers in this category to look exactly the same, then you can keep it as uniform style. If you want them to be different, say you have different type of work locations, then you can change them. But we're going to keep them uniform here. So I'm going to go over where it says all items and then scroll over to this little paint bucket, click that, and here's where I can edit the formatting. I'm going to keep the color as blue, but I'm going to change the shape of the icon when I click on more icons and let's say places, and I'm going to scroll down here. I like the look of this little office building called City, so I'm going to click that. So there, all my work locations are now little office buildings on the map. I'm going to do the exact same thing with my candidates. I'm going to go to where it says all items, click the paint bucket. I'm going to change the color of these to red so it stands out against the blue office buildings. And I'm going to change my icon. I'm going to go to transportation and grab this little dude here, select that, and here we go. Now I can quickly zoom in to any one of my work locations, click it, make sure which location it is, and then I can visually see which one of my candidates are close to that location. Then I can go to that candidate in my applicant tracking system or on my list, give them a call and see if they'd be interested in this location or any other ones nearby. This is a very limited data set, but you can definitely use this for hundreds, if not thousands of rows of data, as you can see here in this map. And there you have it.
We've used this successfully to place hundreds of healthcare workers across the USA, but you could also use it to place retail workers into stores, factory workers into factories, teachers into schools. Any situation where you have a scattered list of candidates and a scattered list of work locations, this can be very, very helpful. If you're finding recruitment challenging and you need help, feel free to reach out. Our team would be happy to jump in or even take on the whole project for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.